All right, guys, welcome back. My name is Jack Christensen. I'm the owner and founder of Level X Poker. Today is going to be a more of a brief video. We're going to be talking about bankroll management and an overall guide to bankroll management. You hear people talk about bankroll management all the time, and there's a ton of random information out there. But this video will hopefully clear up all the confusion. So the first thing we need to talk about, guys, is that if you are a losing player, no matter what there's my cat here. This is Luna. Luna's the poker kitty. So if you're a losing player, guys, there's no bankroll that's going to be big enough. Over time and with enough volume, you will bust your bankroll. All right. Step one for any bankroll is first you need to be a winning player. Okay. Once you're a winning player, then let's talk about what you need to do next. So the general rule of thumb for cash game poker is you need 40 buy-ins for whatever stake you're playing. So if you are playing 1-2, $200 buy-in is 100 big blinds, so you need $8,000, right? And that's 40 buy-ins for your poker bankroll specifically. So you should not be paying bills out of that. You should not be none of that. So how you should really set this up is you have two different accounts, right? You have your poker bankroll account, and then you have your normal life living, whatever you spend on a daily, food, groceries, rent, all that stuff, right? So when you play poker, all your winnings and losses all stay in that account. And then at the end of every month, you transfer a percentage of your profit, that whatever you set that to be, over to your personal, and that's what you spend from. So 40 buy-ins for whatever stake you're playing is the general rule of thumb for poker, cash game poker professional. However, there are factors that can change that. So the first factor is your risk tolerance, right? And so if you have a higher risk tolerance, like you don't give a fuck if you bust your bankroll, right? You just want to make as much money as possible with higher risk of ruin. Well, then guess what, guys? You get to play with a smaller bankroll. So like, if you're like someone who's hyper aggressive and you want to play with like 10 buy-ins, right? You can do that, and it is possible. If variance is on your side, then that's the way you can make the most money. But your risk of ruin is absurdly high, right? If you only have 10 buy-ins. And what is risk of ruin? Risk of ruin is the percentage chance that your bankroll will go to zero. Right? And so the higher the risk of ruin, right, means the lower the number of total buy-ins. But the higher the risk of ruin, it's also if you don't bust, right? If you're on the other side of that, you're going to win more money, right? You can make more money faster. So that's the benefit of having a higher risk tolerance, right? Is you can make more money if it works out in your favor. But there's just more luck involved in that capacity, right? And there's a bunch of calculators out there. Linked in the article, guys, is like my blog article. I have the mathematical equation if you want to do the math and calculate your risk of ruin. Also, now is a good time. I would greatly appreciate it if you find any of my videos helpful. Just subscribe. We're trying to grow this YouTube channel. So subscribe, like, comment would be awesome. Anyway, let's move on. So the next thing is going to be your win rate. So the higher your win rate, right, the less buy-ins you need. And that's because part of the calculation for risk of ruin is your win rate. So if you have a higher win rate, your variance will last a shorter length of time. And so if your variance is lasting a shorter length of time, it means your bankroll doesn't have to sustain as long of downswings. And so if you don't have to sustain as long as downswings, you can have less buy-ins. So if you are, let's say you're an absolute monster at whatever games you're playing and you're just crushing the fucking game, right? Like you're just destroying the game. You're not going to need 40 buy-ins because your variance is going to be so much lower. So that's another thing. Another factor is if this is a side hustle, let's say you're a winning player and everything, but it's a side hustle and you have a job or you have investment income or you have some sort of other income where if your bankroll is getting low, you can just inject cash into it. Well, if that's the case, then it doesn't really matter. Like you have to take into your outside finances into account. You could do 5 buy-ins. It doesn't really matter if every time you're getting down to 1 buy-in, you can just transfer money from one account to another, then it doesn't matter. So if you have outside income that you can put towards it, be careful, obviously, if it's not unlimited, right? Say you can only put so much per month if you're on a downswing into it, you have to take that into consideration, right? So say you're playing 2-5, right? And so that's $500 as a buy-in. And let's say you can only transfer $1,000 a month if you have a bad swing. Well, that's only 2 buy-ins. So you can only transfer 2 buy-ins into your poker bankroll per month. You're still going to want roughly 40 buy-ins, maybe a little less, but maybe 35, 30, but 40 is still a good rule of thumb. I also created this cheat sheet for buy-ins, right? And for your poker bankroll, and I'll put it on the screen here, but it is linked in the description over on the blog article. You can download it, do whatever you want. It's basically showing whatever stakes you're playing, an aggressive bankroll management system, which would be like 20 buy-ins, a recommended bankroll management system, which is 40 buy-ins, and then a conservative, like very conservative, very low risk of ruining, assuming you have any kind of win rate, would be 100 buy-ins. And keep in mind, guys, this video is geared towards cash game players. Tournament bankroll management is completely different. So yeah, go over to the blog article, download that sheet if you want, and it'll give you an idea of what your bankroll should be, depending on your risk tolerance. If you want to be aggressive, want to be recommended, or if you want to be very conservative. So yeah, that's been the video. It's a little shorter today, so anything, definitely reach out. Happy to talk to anyone about anything poker related. So thanks, guys. Peace.